Hey, how's it going? Lovely audience, Seth Estrada here, and I've got another basement mining update. I'm also doing kind of a 2-for-1. I had a company send me a selfie stick for review, so I'm going to be toting around this selfie stick while we chat about the basement mine. First off, it's really loud down here. I've got a couple of mining appliances going, got that rig going, got that rig going. The other rig is kind of undecided as of right now. Guys, hey, welcome to the live stream, guys. Be sure to share the link. Share the link, please. But right here, you notice I got a lot of material that... Thanks, Yankee. Guys, it's summer. It's summer. I needed to cool off, so I didn't quite go as high and tight as, you know, I might normally this time of year. Kept the whiskers because, Alex, I miss your face too. Your mouth is so pretty. All right, so, guys, yeah, it's summer. Gotta stay cool. But kept the whiskers because the boys were like, hey, you know what, Dad? You worked so... you made that Donegal mustache for us for St. Patrick's Day. Go ahead and keep your mustache this time. They gave me permission. The kids gave me permission. And then I cut the beard a little short because it's just too hot, man, right? Way too hot, especially down here. Hey, Hack Crypto, how's it going? Good to see you in the audience, guys. But I've got mining rigs going right now. There's plenty that's profitable today, right? As far as daily mining and being able to slough off assets, being able to pay for the daily cost to operate, there's plenty going on in terms of mining that'll keep your operation running, right? So it doesn't make sense to shut things down, but I'm not finished with this project yet, right? I don't have the full straight pipe going out the window yet. I don't have the box built for the heat exchange yet. I know, I totally slacked off. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna MacGyver it for a couple of days here while I get the full solution put in place. So let's leave the basement. Let's head outside. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you hitting the like button. Appreciate you sharing the link to the video so that we can build up more audience here. I'm gonna open up the storm door so I can let myself in and out a little bit faster. Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. Otherwise, that's gonna be a pain in the booty. But we're gonna use some industrial corrugate right now. See this? That right there? This is just cardboard, but it is like the toughest of the tough cardboard, right? This is about as heavy duty as it gets. And we're gonna leave the full window unit in place for right now, and we're just going to allow for this, I guess it's a 12 by 12 roughly, opening right there, to be our main mode of egress for air. We're not going to try to exchange air just yet. We're just going to evacuate heat for right now. And we're gonna do this live because it's so janky that I can do it live. It's pretty amazing. Pretty much all we need is a carpet knife and duct tape, and the rest is easy. But that's just because this is totally like backyard Bob heat evacuation action. Plus, it's really not that hot outside. You see me wearing shorts, right? Questionable fashion choices at best. But you know what? I'm at that phase of life where I just don't care. I just don't. In case you haven't noticed that yet, I really don't care about most people's opinion of my fashion, what I drive, what I use to listen to my music, etc. Or the music that I listen to, any of it. I'm like full on. I'm fully in dad territory, right? So dad bod, dad jokes, dad grooming, all of it. I don't care. So. Virus, it's funny you should ask what is up with that mustache. You see, I'm trying to really lean into this sort of like dad thing, right? So, Virus, you're just upset because this probably looks like your dad's mustache, right? Yeah? Yeah? Going full Indian handlebars here. That said, guys, for those of you who don't know, I've got a bit of I've got a significant amount of German ancestry in my family. But figure this out. Red Panda Mining, hey man, good to see you over here. Red Panda Mining, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, he's got a shout out from Brandon Coin earlier today. Let me give him another shout out right now. Highly underrated channel. You need to subscribe. So go subscribe to Red Panda right after you watch this video. And give him all the likes. Give him some love. But guys, here's the thing, Red Panda. I'm sure anybody who's already watching, hey, you guys are subscribed. I'm sure. Thank you guys for being subscribed and clicking likes. But guys, so totally random aside here. My family history is a significant amount Bavarian, right, German, but then also, ironically, a significant amount sub-Saharan African. I am the whitest black man you've ever met in your life. Don't quote me. It sounds racist when you say it. I can say it though, right? Double standard much? I don't care. Deal with it. But it's kind of funny. I've got a couple of siblings who are like, you look at their DNA tests, right? And it's like, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Red Panda, guys. I love seeing this. Okay, so if you're looking for collocation right now, I have it on good authority. Yankee can mention it in the comment. Come on. I had it on good authority that the Yankee had a little bit of power capacity left at his facility over in North Carolina. At any rate, guys, community, right? Community. This is what Jared at Digital Gold and I were trying to work on before he had to make some sudden moves with his business. And it kind of makes me sad that we weren't able to kind of bring that to its logical conclusion and actually get more of a resource list going for the community. But we wanted to get a community-oriented and community-provided co-location list going. So that way, like Brandon Coin was saying today, he's in the middle of moving, right, from one house to another, and he wasn't sure where he could put his rigs, and he wasn't comfortable going with a co-location that was sort of faceless and did the larger service. There we go. Gotta clean up the whiskers there. There we go. And before you ask, no, I'm not even using mustache wax. This is just thank you, Bavarian ancestors. You gave me this phenomenal gift of a perpetually happy mustache. But yeah, guys, co-location with community members, totally the way to go, right? Totally the way to go. Stick with people you know, right? Spend with people you like, right? Keep the money in the family, so to speak. So, at any rate, yeah, I have a significant contingent of my family that's still in Germany right now, so it's kind of funny. The first time I used mustache wax, it was from a German cousin of mine. Just great guy. And he's gone full white already. Right? He's an older gentleman, but man, he rocks some serious beard grooming. I mean, he takes it very seriously. He works in plays, right, in his spare time. He's retired now, but plays in a marching band, and so he's constantly like does parades and things, and he's very much in the public eye. So when I first grew a beard, I mean, many years ago, it's been I guess 7-8 years ago, right? Like seriously tried to grow a beard. He saw me on social media and was like, little cousin, you need help. Let me send you something. And he sent me this little tube of mustache wax. It's Hungarian mustache wax that is hard to find here in the States. He paid 20 euro to ship it to me. And just as a gift, right? 20 euro to ship it to me. And it was just totally out of the blue. And the stuff was amazing. Totally amazing. I haven't needed to use it much since then. I've kind of gotten a little more careful with how I groom it. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about this. We're actually going to spend less, believe it or not, we're going to spend less time actually building this interim heat solution than I just talked about my mustache. It's that janky, and it's going to take that fast, guys. This stuff isn't rocket science, right? By definition, it's not rocket science. That said, I'm not an HVAC professional, and this is not legal business or financial advice. So do your own research. Don't get wrecked. Hey, I disclaimed. Corrugate, the cheap stuff, it came in a package that I picked up from IKEA for something else, for some office furniture. And I looked at that and thought, man, that's got really good tensile strength. For being cardboard, for being corrugate, that's got really good tensile strength. I'm going to hang on to this one piece. I don't often hang on to old, like, junk, like old, whatever, container junk. Yeah. Hey, guys, we got Mr. Corey around in the comments. Thanks for making it over, brother. Appreciate seeing you here. He's a man who's very much got his hands full right now, so thank you for making some time, guys. Our community is the reason I do this. You got to know that, right? Those of us who've been here, we survived. We're survivors of the most recent bear market. We've still got GPUs. We're still hashing. So, yeah, that's just it, guys. Like you're saying, it's not rocket science. We're just trying to evacuate some hot air, and thank goodness my ambient temperatures, even though you see that sky, the mountain behind me, we no longer have snow on the caps of the mountains. It's all run off into the river that runs through runs through town. So it's likely that we're going to start seeing some hotter temperatures in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to finish the final ducting solution here soon. but I've got a couple of days, and I want to buy myself a few more days of mining indoors. I've had the rigs off too many days, and it just like, it hit me across the face last night when I was like, oh man, I've got several dozen GPUs that are not hashing the way they should be. I got to get my butt in gear. So let's cut this, let's duct this, and then let's get back to work on the final sort of heat exchange box. And I'll show you the materials that we've got set up for that. For those who've been asking about rain when you get the final heat ducting solution in place, you notice I've got a carport right here that's going to help to sort of silo quite a bit of the ambient air, or separate some of the ambient air from any kind of precipitation that comes down. We're not going to get snow, obviously, anytime soon, but any kind of rain that we may get, any kind of intermittent showers that we may get, we're unlikely to get splash into the intake fan. It might come over and splash into the ventilation fan, potentially, but I think we're going to have enough. Hey, what's going on, Dean? Good to see you in the comments. I think we're going to have enough CFM blowing out of the ventilation fan. We really shouldn't have a problem with that precipitation creeping all the way into the system through that straight pipe. The intake fan, I think, is going to be on a fairly clean side. All we're going to need to do is filter that air. Guys, thank you so much again for sharing the link. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. Right here, we've got some 2x6s. So full-length 2x6s right here. And this is just the cheapest stuff you can get from... This is the cheapest stuff you can get from Lowe's, right? So it's not super fancy. We've got a 2x2 furring strip right here as a bit of in-between sort of spacer type material. You always want to have something to help create a bit of a gap, because we're going to have a gap between the fans, and then we're going to have a vacuum chamber, and then we're going to have the ducting behind that. I want to be able to control that gap so we can shape a funnel inside of that gap and make sure that that everything is kind of smooth running through the internals of that system. Yeah, Yankee hit the nail on the head. We're looking at $5 or less per board, right? So it's not super expensive. Man, everybody's all freaked out because I cut my hair. It is summer, and I've been spending some time with the Scouts. My boys are currently they're involved in Boy Scouting. I was involved in Scouting when I was a kid. Do I have an Eagle Scout? No, I didn't care about that. I had professional sponsors in rollerblading at the time, so I was like, I'm gonna spend my summers going and doing competitions. People are paying for it or whatever. I had a very charmed life as a teenager. A very charmed life. I have to admit to that. And so yeah, I got a little complacent with Scouting at that time, but I had so much fun at High Adventure, camped in the High Sierras, did all kinds of cool stuff. And then beyond that, like, I mean, I should probably do a separate channel just kind of based on like adventure for young men. Because, I mean, before age 12 or before age 13, I had handled and fired my first fully automatic submachine gun, and just done all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, it's the sort of stuff that it sounds unbelievable almost, but I had a lot of fun as a young man. So I try to go out of my way to make time for my kids who are young men and their friends who are members of the community and also happen to be members of the Scouting program. So it gives us a good excuse to get out in nature, go light fires and blow stuff up. It's fun. It's so much fun. Anyway, so here I've got a couple of 2x6s. I've got the furring strip that's a 2x2, and that's going to be the only in-between piece that I really need. The 2x6s are they're really intended to give me that 6-inch gap, not so much the 2-inch gap, with a lot of structural rigidity between those two faces to create a really strong central vacuum chamber for the ventilation side. Now on the intake side, it kind of needs to be able to handle incoming pressure because it's going to inflate like a balloon, right? We don't think of wooden boxes inflating like a balloon unless we overfill them and they come apart at the seams, right? Also have a bit of caulking so that on at least on the intake side, we have a bit more rigidity so that as it does inflate with air, we don't lose pressure coming in. That's going to be kind of a trick that I mean, I foresee it being a bit of a problem, a bit of a bottleneck in our system. So that's why I went that route. Additionally, I've got a couple of different boards here with a couple of different thicknesses of plywood. Got 1/4 inch piece here, and then I've got 1/2 inch piece here. Why did I go with two different thicknesses of plywood? Well, really because I just didn't think that I would need to have, I mean, it's going to be only as strong as the weakest side, right? So I think we only need the 1/4 inch. I went with the 1/2 inch to make sure that I had something really strong to hang the ducting off of, realistically. The fans, I don't know. Or no, I think I did it the other way around. I'm sorry. I wanted to hang something, the fans off of something that had a lot of high rigidity to it, and then the ducting will go into the 1/4 inch piece, or I'll just be cutting out of the center of it anyway. So it's already compromised anyway. Though I think that's why I wanted to do it that way, because the fan side, it's going to be a 14-inch hole that I have to cut out of it. So using a 1/2 inch piece of plywood, 1/2 inch thick piece of plywood, should allow the rest of the system to flex a little bit less, even with a larger diameter hole cut out of the center of it. And then with the 1/2 inch or the 1/4 inch piece, the ducting is going to be a slightly smaller hole cut out of the center of that. So it's not going to introduce as much flex. Anyway, you finally found Satoshi. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's XBitCo. Yeah. So guys, this is what I have. I've got quite a bit of cutting. I've got quite a bit of building. I've got quite a bit of making time ahead of me, right? So, hey, Cursed Mining. Hey, good to see you commenting on the channel over here. Guys, there are very few of us who are very seriously making this kind of content anymore. If you're watching, Red Panda, Cursed Mining, Brandon Coin, who I think is already back off to packing. I don't think he's got time to be watching many other live streams right now. Crypto Noof, anybody else who's watching, guys, we need collab. We need collab content. Plain and simple. It's really just that simple. We need more collab content, right? There are only a few of us still doing this, and between us doing it, we've got enough different projects that don't step on each other's toes that we've got all kinds of stuff we can talk about. I know for a fact that right now, Serpent XSF, who is not in the comments right now, he's always got stuff going on with GPU testing. He was the only one from our community who really seriously tested the RX 590. I was kind of critical of the RX 590, but I was really happy when I saw him get one, because that allowed the community access to do some tests. And he was really generous with his RX 590 in allowing us to remote in and do our own overclock and undervolt tests. So I think along those lines, that's the sort of thing that we can do when we pool our resources and when we work together. Right now, I'm going to do this kind of like basement mining, makeshift ventilation system. Then I'm going to build the more robust system over there that has the higher CFM. Today, I think we're only going to get to about 300 CFM and ventilation only. Terry B, you asked me the right question there, because that really is kind of more my forte. So Terry B is asking me, Seth, any plans to do any more coin interviews, or are you like me that most projects just seem to be meh at best? Yeah, I think Yankee's kind of summarizing my feelings right there. I kind of don't want to see too many more coins. Let me be really, I should ask, do I have permission to be blunt? Very blunt? Okay. Now that I've gotten your permission, I'm going to be very blunt. I think that right now we're in a really bad phase for new coin development. I'm not going to name names, but at least one new coin project has hit my radar that has talked about solving a problem that doesn't need to be solved. And within 48 hours of them announcing their new coin launch, the coin that they are forking from announced that they're going to solve the same problem with literally 1,000x the resources, if not 10,000x the resources, and literally 100 times the number of developers working on the code base. There's so many misguided small projects right now that just don't have the funding, they don't have the personnel, they don't have the material, period. They don't have the code base, they don't have the cryptographic strength and know-how. There's so little that the larger projects really need in terms of their core focus and aim, that a smaller project is going to be able to help solve, period. And I hate saying that, because I mean, here we are as small to mid-scale miners, right? In terms of what we're doing at home, small to mid-scale miners, we need to believe that the small guy can make a difference, right? And in terms of proof of work, that's totally true. And we can see it on the profits, right? Like, it's profitable enough. And we can see what the event horizon is for ourselves, or what the timeline is to break even on our equipment and stuff. There's no... Oh dear. Yeah, I see Jed and Terry B mentioning some projects that I'm just not even going to repeat. There are so many projects that I'm just going to say, like, they solve problems that nobody asked to be solved. They solve a problem that nobody identified as a problem. That's a big issue with a lot of new coins. And that's part of the reason that, like, when I launched Canary Coin last year, launched Canary Coin live on stream, I didn't follow through with that project. It made no logical sense. Changing the proof of work on a crypto note, that it might give a short-term pump. And frankly, if I really felt like being evil, I could go back to launching my own coin, and I could do it clandestinely, right? I could launch 10 new coins forked off of Monero or Turtle Coin, or I could take Loki's code base, and I could even totally clone their concept of service nodes, right? Same with any other number of coins, and I could do so anonymously and take a 5-10% pre-mine for myself, right? If I'm doing it anonymously, right? Like, ooh, who's this character, this dark horse character with whatever name for the avatar, and I could sock puppet 10 different coin projects, and I could get a couple of people to run alt accounts as marketing shills, right? And I could even find Southeast Asian virtual assistants. Not to make it about like where you're from in the world, because that's not what it's about. Ruben Yap is from Southeast Asia, and he's kicking butt, taking names with Zcoin. But just to say, I could get virtual assistants to go and sock puppet with alt accounts across all of social media and just shill the crap out of these 10 coins. I'm just going to use that as a bad example to keep the math easy, right? And if I took a 10% pre-mine from all of those, I'm sitting on 100% of the coin supply across all 10, right? Sitting with 100% of the coin supply. If I keep the coin supply the same across all of them, 100% of the coin supply, and you know, the number of projects that actually make it to exchange, maybe I can fool the community enough to get listed on a couple of exchanges. I'm not going to name names, but a couple of exchanges that are gullible enough to take the bait. And then I'm walking away with a 20, 30, 40, maybe upwards of 60% pre-mine, insta-mine. I can't support new coin forks anymore. I just can't take them seriously, right? I've gone through this thought exercise enough times in my own mind to realize that I could do the initial coin fork of all 10 coins in one day. I could... yeah, Yankee's like, dude, I'm in. Put me in for 10K, bruh. That's the thing. It's the ultimate scam, right? Like, wouldn't it be amazing? And it's unregulated. Coin forks are unregulated. It's not like an ICO. So you know there are people who are doing this professionally because it's unregulated. They're not breaking any laws, internationally or domestically. I don't even care where you live. You're not breaking any laws. There are no laws in any municipality of any nation that prevents you from doing a coin fork and then having it listed on exchange. So, yeah. Hey, Crypto Noof, good to see you, man. Good to see you in the comments. Your ears must have been burning. We were talking about you and saying good things. So, guys, Crypto Noof, another one in the comment section here. So let me get a tidy list here. Crypto Noof, Red Panda Mining, and Cursed Mining, who've commented down below. Please give them a subscribe. And guys, if you're watching actively right now, hey, reach out. Let's figure out some really good collab content, because I'd love to see us do a lot more collab down the line. So, oh yeah, I forgot about the time difference. Yeah, sorry about that. But let me cut this thing. Let me wrap it. Let's duct it. Let's get some heat out of the basement, because that's all we need to do. We're going to get about 300 CFM out of the basement. We got the far side open, so we're going to get a good channel of air going through the basement, through the den, basically, over into the mining area. The boys, they act crazy playing Super Smash Brothers or whatever down there anyway. They're not even going to notice that there's outside air coming in, and they're definitely not going to feel the heat from the mining. So yeah, guys, there's so many good ideas. Crypto Noof, guys, I need to shout out Crypto Noof here, and it's confession time, right? Because he knows and I know what happened on one of his recent videos. Crypto Noof created a brand new wallet on my Ether wallet, and he did a hidden coin giveaway. He even said it was hidden coin giveaway, just to see if members of his community were savvy enough to figure out where the coins were hidden. And then he showed his paper wallet from my Ether wallet on screen. And I watched, and for those of you who are catching on, he showed his paper wallet on screen. So I won the giveaway. I won the giveaway. Thank you, Crypto News, for that. I've got to find a creative way to pass that, move that forward into the community. I was not that fast. I really wasn't that fast. There had been already, I think, 30 views on the video. So, I mean, I thought I had max a 5% chance of getting it. So, there you go. Yeah, because there could have been 20 people who watched it and then 10 people who rewatched it, right? So, I thought I had a 5% chance of getting those coins. But, you know, yeah, I guess I was a little speedy. So let's cut this board. Let's get this thing in place. Yeah, Crypto Noof is also, I mean, I'm blown away too, right? With that many people already watching it, I don't get it. Hans is asking how many was it, like $5? No, it was like 25. So Crypto Noof, he funded that one. It was like, is this worth 5 minutes of my time, whatever, to go through the process? It was worth 5 minutes of my time. So Crypto Noof, thank you. We're going to find a way to pay that forward into the community because obviously I've been sitting on that. Guys, if you're selling your crypto right now, you are insane. I'm just going to say that. Totally try not to, again, not financial advice, talk to your CPA, but as you know, right now, with Bitcoin ripping, right, dancing and playing around the $11,000 mark, and then altcoins just they're like a coiled spring, right? They're ready to pop. They are ready to pop. So do not sell. It'd be crazy to sell right now. Hold out as long as you can. All right, so we're going to pop open some duct tape, and then we're gonna eyeball this corrugate over here, and we're gonna cut it to size just by eyeball. Again, guys, you're gonna notice now that I've said it on this live stream, you're gonna see all kinds of stuff that completely corroborates my claim of having been a Boy Scout. I almost always carry a multi-tool, right, a utility knife with me like this, with multiple different blades and tools on it. I mean, like almost always. Hey, nice. Yeah, Crypto Noof, looking forward to seeing your new place and seeing the location with the fans. I know you got a significant number of GPUs already hashing. I think by doing the box count, you got at least, I think, 4 dozen. Yes? Is that about right? 4 or 5 dozen GPUs in there, so that's pretty cool. But guys, right here, we need to make sure this is flush. I guess maybe I don't even need to make sure it's flush. If we want to go extra lazy, I could not even like make it flush, but I'd rather do that. We're gonna have some vacuum pressure on the backside right there. Whoa! 90 GPUs running over at Crypto Noof's facility. That's awesome, man. I can't wait to see the new place. So right here, I'm gonna make sure this cardboard is flush right there. So Terry B saying, Seth, I like your interviews. How about some friendly interviews of crypto personalities, YouTubers? Kind of get to know them. Well, I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments what you think. Should I be interviewing crypto personalities in the space? Because there are, there are a bunch of people who are totally with it. I saw. Oh yeah, guys, Crypto Noof. You guys should be able to right-click on his name in the live stream comments right now, and you should be able to click through to his comments if you're on the desktop. It's literally just whatever, or center click right with your scroll wheel, and it'll pop it open in another tab. So you should be able to subscribe. Guys, I'm being totally serious. Cursed Minding, Red Panda Mining, and Crypto Noof. You guys need to be subscribed to these channels. They're doing value-added content. This is good stuff. So I'm going to probably take off about 4 inches of this board here. And as far as, yeah, crypto personalities, guys, what do you think I should be interviewing crypto personalities? I've been okay with allowing myself to be the subject of an interview on other people's podcasts and video podcasts and stuff, but that's because I think with us, you know, in this community, we've got value to add. We're not necessarily doing technical analysis, even though I had that quick comment about not selling your mining profits right now. But we're not really technical analysts. Most of us, we don't make those kinds of predictions. I think it's kind of a fool's errand. You've heard me say it many times. I think it's kind of a fool's errand to get too deep into the technical analysis and then make strong claims about what the price action is going to be. There are some times where it's just kind of painfully obvious based on some of the data and the market sentiment that there's going to be some kind of a move. That's different in my mind from having technical analysis. Yankee, I agree with that. And I've been saying that for months. I almost had get this. I don't care what your guys yeah, well, guys. Okay, so I've got to give it up to Corey Round. He did call it right on live stream. And Corey, you know I love having our crypto market chats. And oh, Barry's asking a very loaded question there. I'll let anybody from the comment section answer that one because I've talked about it in a couple of places. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste airtime right now on that. But Corey Round definitely made some phenomenal predictions, both privately in our Discord group and then publicly on a couple of our live streams and then publicly on a couple of posts in our Discord group. Here's my intention, guys, and I'm gonna pimp Corey out just a little bit here, but I'd rather have Corey because his feedback is so valuable. He's actually a Series 65 certified or is it registered or certified investment advisor. I'm going to totally say this wrong, but he has his Series 65 FINRA cert. I'll put it that way. So he's actually a credentialed person. He's actually a credentialed person who understands this stuff, right? Registered. So, hey, thank you, Miner Huck. I appreciate it. My boys, they insisted that I keep the whiskers. So kind of got the best of both worlds. A little cooler too. But guys, I'm going to pimp Corey out a little bit here. What I prefer that we do in the Mind Your Biz community, at least on the Mind Your Biz Discord, he's offered a couple of like bullseye predictions that some of us have just said like meh and moved on from. That's crazy. I never want to see that happen again. You remember how I talked about being a dad and leaning into that role as a dad? Sorry, not sorry. You're going to get this one from me, guys. So quiet, take your medicine. Corey has given you nice things. And this is why we can't have nice things. I'm fully endorsing that in our group, as far as getting market calls, we need to have a paid email distribution list for Corey's market calls. None of it goes to me. It goes to Corey. Right? In the same way that when Newbie was an active member of the community and he was doing memory straps, timing straps, I was strongly encouraging that we pay him for his timing straps. Guys, when somebody's really good at something, don't ask them to do it for free. We don't, right? With mining, we don't. Just saying. So, there you go. Yankee. He'll take 30 to 40% and put it into a community fund. Yeah. For community entertainment. We'll see him down at the strip club. We're all invited, of course. But Yankee will be there, keeping your seat warm. All right. Okay, so yeah, Terry B has got some really good feedback there, I think, for you, Barry, because that's totally true. That said, even memes, when they've got funding, even memes can persist for a long time. Like Doge. Doge as a meme should have died a couple years ago, but Doge as a meme coin, nope. Got a heck of a lot more staying power. All right, guys, so I'm going to just score this along this side really fast. I'm going to try to do a really clean vertical score right here, and then I'm going to pop it open and then finish the cut after I score one side. It's corrugate, so, and, oh, you know what, though? We might be cross-cutting. Possibly. Let me double check here. I can't even tell. This could be like honeycomb corrugate. So I thought, crud. Maybe my idea isn't going to work out. I'm going to try to score it anyway. We'll try to break a corner open here, or try to break a hinge open, and then finish the cut from that scoring line. You know what though? If I'm going to score this, I'll set it down here so we get a sense for exactly how much we need to cut. Also, guys, I mentioned this is a selfie tripod stick that was sent to me by a company for review on Amazon. So a portion of this clip is going to go into that review. Alrighty. It's cutting clean. Well, I left a little bit of a curve in that, but it's cutting pretty clean. Let's see if it... Yeah, there we go. So right along the scoring line works fine. Ha! So I'm just going to flip this guy over. Oh, yeah, like I mentioned, questionable fashion choices. Haha, deal with it. Dad humor strikes again. So I'm going to leave that scoring line right there and just leave the hinge in place. Again, don't need to cut it, so why? Why cut it if I don't have to? Try not to completely obliterate the plant life. All right, and that fits flush. In fact, I won't even need to do any kind of securing with duct tape around the edges here because I think it's close enough. All we're going to do is cut a hole that is the appropriate size for our fan. And it's a Harbor Freight fan right here. Disconnected the power lead right there to this fan. But this little guy, there you go, yep, little date, and you can see it right there, 355 CFM. And I think we're probably going to get, an actual real world a number of about 300. Hey, Jed, thanks so much for joining the Discord. Guys, we're, just to give you a heads up, we're a lot more active in voice chat than we are in text chat. I know it's kind of a weird thing for a Discord, but why not? I mean, you've got the functionality. Yeah, yeah, this one, it is kind of like a jet engine, but I like it, right? It's going to do what we need. It's really flexible in terms of the applications, so that's why I like having it right here. As soon as we put this, we're going to mount this on the outside edge, and as we get air pushing out, we're going to get a bit of vacuum seal right here. So I practically don't even need to do anything to the outside. And frankly, I'd rather not leave any residue from the duct tape out here on the brick, right? Or anywhere else if I don't have to. As it is, when I remove the window down below, I'm going to have to remove the caulk and then reapply the caulk when I put the window back in later on. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be losing 50 CFM, Corey. This is just my best guess. Just my best guess. I really don't know. So it's kind of a shot in the dark, and I don't know if you guys maybe can guide me a bit. I don't know of a good way to get a good flow rate meter or measuring the flow rate on air like this. So give me a heads up if you've got a better idea, maybe in the comments or tell me over in Discord. But we're just going to cut a hole right here, approximately at the center of the window, and then we're going to mount this on the outside edge of that hole. Probably going to put the power leads down below. And then, okay, so wind meter. That makes sense. Yeah, I've just never had to do that. I've never lived in a place where we had enough wind for me to do any kind of a wind study on, say, putting up a wind turbine. So I'll check out for a wind meter. Yeah, don't stand too close. Oh, okay. All right. I'll try not to. Okay, we're eyeballing it, and right there. Right there is the center of the window vertically. So I'm going to make a little scoring mark right here for the center of the window. The vertical center of the window. And then horizontal center of the window is right about there. Ugh! Killed it! It's dead! Okay, so that's our center point right there. And from that center point, okay, so I've kind of scored the edges on the inside of where the fan should help suck in air. And why am I doing this so quick and dirty? Because this is not going to stay up for very long anyway. At least I hope not. I really hope not. Because here's the thing. You know and I know that if we find that this is good enough, I'm going to be really tempted to just leave it. You know what I mean? That's just mining, right? Isn't that how mining goes? Where you're like, well, my temps are pretty good. Anyway, hey, Cryptonoof, thanks for stopping by, man. Enjoy your dinner. Buen provecho. So I'm going to cut a quick and dirty hole right here. Here we go. It looks mostly round, doesn't it? Don't look too closely. Okay. Oh, there we go. Beautiful selfie stick. It works. It works as intended. So I got a selfie stick tripod. Dirty hole. That is a. So I had a film instructor at the university, and it's funny because this guy is totally straight arrow, clean cut Christian guy. And mounting on the inside, I could mount it on the inside, but the problem with that is that I'll have pressure blowing out from it. And I think we are probably, whereas here from the outside, I'll have vacuum pressure holding it in place. On the other side, I'll have pressure actually pulling it from, by pushing it off of the assembly. And because I'm using quick and dirty building methods, I don't want to have to deal with anything but vacuum pressure that's working for me. So I'm going to leave it out here and use the vacuum pressure to hold it onto the assembly. So anyway, yeah. So at any rate, I got this. Oh, create a cage so no fingers can sneak in. So it's got a little bit of a cage right here. I think what I'm probably going to do, and with my boys, they're just smart enough to know not to put their fingers in, but they're just mischievous enough to maybe try to stick in, I don't know, like hot dogs or bananas or something. So whatever. Mr. Christmas is asking, is there any issue with rain? Not today, and for right now, we're under a carport, as you can see right there. So there may be a little bit of sideways rain that comes over. Plus, we're ventilating air out, so I'm not too worried about rain falling into the assembly. As well as right here, you can see that's all aluminum all the way back to that point. So we'd have to get a lot of rain really coming in heavy to be able to counteract the 300 CFM. Barry's asking, am I using HiveOS with my rigs? I am using HiveOS with a number of my rigs, Barry. It's a good question. As you know, I've got the tutorial series on HiveOS. It's getting a little long in the tooth, I know. I'm due for a refresher on the HiveOS tutorial series for English. And Hans is asking, do I have an ingress protection grade on this? Well, let's check the casing. I don't know if there is an ingress protection grade on it. I don't see an ingress protection grade on the fan, but what I'm saying is just based on visual inspection of the build quality, I'm not too worried about it. And I don't foresee it being a problem for right now. When we go with the radiator fans on them outside, well, yes, they do have an ingress protection rating. And when we build the box for that sort of final cooling solution, we're not going to have to worry about it at all. This is really to buy us a couple of days of time to work on the box over there so that I don't have to bore you with a live stream trying to build that thing live. I'll just give you a time lapse like we did before, and then I'll talk through it. We can do some Q&A in a live stream after that point. But I don't want you to be stuck with me for whatever, 4 hours of building or 5 hours of building. I mean, Michael Carter from Bitsby Trippin', he can get away with it. I don't think I can. That's just too long. Feel free to speed it up. How about this? I'll set longer intervals for the time lapse. That ought to do it. Right here, you know, I didn't actually cut this quite wide enough, so I'm going to lose out on some vacuum pressure by not having that cut wide enough. Yeah, Hans, this is totally a temporary fix. I would not be using corrugate even. So that'd be my first problem with rain, is that this is corrugate. So it would only withstand so many exposures to rain before it just starts to deteriorate, right? It's thick corrugate, but just cardboard. I'm not going to leave that out in the rain. So this is not going to be something I do for long term. But again, with mining, one of the difficulties with doing this sort of interim stuff is that if it works, right, if we notice that temps are low enough, it tends to be demotivating, right? Where it's like, well, do I really want to put in more work if this works already, if this gets the job done? So keep me honest, guys. I got to work on the other box. I'm going to take another 1/2 inch all the way around the circumference of this hole. And yes, before you're asking, I was that kid that drew outside the lines in kindergarten too. So, deal with it. Yeah, that ought to do. It's a little bit closer. It's a little more snug than maybe I want it to be. But I think it'll work. You know what, though? Yeah. Not super happy with it, but it's going to work. And now I can reach in and get my power lead. Again, like I was saying, that's like we're working extra dirty here. Hey, Mr. Honeybee. It's a nice sight. Okay, that ought to do. Okay, connecting my power leads there. So, guys, what are you mining today? That's like my question for you. Or maybe I should also ask. Terry B was asking, Seth, Seth, you should interview members of the community, like popular YouTubers and stuff. Anybody else think that's a good idea? Because, I mean, I thought about it. I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. yeah, Crypto Noof. That is not the intent and purpose of this particular custom fabrication. Okay, so I've got to suspend the entire thing from the top edge. I just know that I do. This assembly is just heavy enough that if I don't, then it's going to be an issue. Storytelling with a couple of guys would be fun. Hey, I agree, Corey. Just swapping like whatever, mining war stories or horror stories or talking about crypto in general. That sounds like fun. Guys, what else as far as additional value-added content for the channel? Wow, we're awfully quiet. GPU overheating stories. Okay. Plenty of those to go around. I probably could have done this the other way around, couldn't I? Oh well. The fan blades don't clear. Okay. This is why. Yeah, zip ties would be better. Thank you, Corey. They really would be. And I've got plenty of them to go around, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some zip ties and suspend this from the corner. I think I was just like really in the back of my mind, I was really hoping to get this all done entirely with duct tape. Whatever. Let's go get some zip ties, guys. Leave this out here for now. So I'm seeing as far as Crypto Noof is mining ETH, Ion, Ether 1. Interesting. So Ether 1, I'm excited to see that it's still going, guys. I was a bit critical of Ether 1 early on when it first launched, because it just kind of seemed too good to be true. I'll put it that way. People who were mining ETH at a loss, and then Ether 1 comes along, and everyone's like, "Oh, sweet, my mining is profitable again." And it just kind of, to me, seemed too good to be true. I was very, very skeptical, if I'm being totally honest. Skeptical, maybe to a fault. Maybe I was a bit too harsh. But good to see that it's still doing well. Ooh, yeah, you know what? Okay, so hey, Miner Huck, here's the thing. I'm not so much in the habit of exposing scams anymore, and I apologize, but I've got my reasons for not wanting to expose scams. Let me kind of give you a summary as to why. Part of the reason that I'm not really comfortable exposing scams is because they're really hard to detect. it's really, I mean, it's kind of that simple. Scams are really hard to detect. When you think you've got a legit scam, you could just be finding a corporate team that's they're on the wrong side of a negotiation, or they're in the middle of a deal flow that you don't see the full story of. They could be 3/4 of the way into closing a deal with a larger entity that is going to provide them more funding to allow them to deliver what they promised. It's really hard to tell. It's really, really hard to tell. So I'm really cautious about calling something a scam at this point, and that's why. So all right, I've got 20-pound zip ties here. There's a bag of 1,000. As you know, zip ties, they're like duct tape, right? If it's worth getting one roll of duct tape, it's worth getting 20 rolls of duct tape. If it's worth getting 100 zip ties, it's worth getting a couple thousand, right? Yeah, it's wrong. I know it. That's the thing, though. Guys, I married a gal who studied opera for 12 years. And, oh yeah, she is. 100%. 100%. I'm dead. I'm dead meat. But she has to watch all my live streams first, doesn't she? That's not happening anytime soon. Alrighty, so guys, we got people, Cryptonoof saying that he's mining ETH, of course, and I'm mining ETH inside right now on one of the rigs, the AMD rig, right, ETH on that rig. Got another AMD rig that is not currently deployed, which is kind of a bummer, but I don't intend to mine ETH with that one. I intend to mine CryptoNotes on that one, and just spec mine CryptoNotes at that. So let me show you guys what I'm working on here. This is like, got a friend I go to the gym with, and he accuses me of being able to do the third world squat where I can like sit down on my heels. And I don't know, man. I like sitting and kneeling and being active and stuff. I used to do an outdoor boot camp, or teach an outdoor boot camp, and I'd tell people at the boot camp, man, the moment that your hips stop having good flexion and strength, then I don't know, man. When your hips stop working, life is no fun. And I mean that in every possible way. You're having no fun if your hips stop working. So I like doing sort of like impromptu yoga or whatever, just throughout life, during regular activities. Hey, cool. Yeah, Cryptonoof, I had a couple, so Ether One, they sponsored a video for me some months back by sending me enough collateral to set up an Ether One node. And so I did. But I found that not too long after that, that I was going to be in the red. Like, if the trend continued, and it did, if the trend continued, I would have been in the red by holding on to that node with my VPS costs. So I wasn't staying ahead of VPS costs based on the projection moving forward. And I said, you know, I'm going to cut bait now, and I'm just not going to do this anymore. And for me, that would kind of soured my view of the project. I was not very happy with what I saw happening there. So I said, you know, I'm not gonna deal with this. Too many projects were jumping into master nodes as a way of offering alternate revenue to miners, and it just felt, I'm not sure how to put this other than to say it just felt like it was too convenient a project to have popped up when it did, if that makes sense. I kind of worried that it was maybe, what? Barry, you literally had a hip replacement. Oh, nice. Okay, that makes sense. I'm wondering, as far as requirements, CryptoNoof, could you run an Ether 1? Could you run one of their nodes on, say, this new Raspberry Pi 4 that just came out? That'd be a fun video to watch, right? Though, I mean, even still, you'd have to figure out what your actual break-even point is on a $35 piece of equipment, you know, plus power supply or whatever else. Guys, if you're wondering what I'm doing, let me... Yeah, Jed, talking about masternodes feeling scammy. I'm right there with you. They do feel pretty scammy much of the time. Dash doesn't feel scammy, right? Like, that was the initial value proposition, was masternode. But not every project can be Dash, right? And every project that comes after Dash is like, okay, hey, we're also not Dash, but maybe you should try our masternode. It's like, no, thanks. Yeah, about 4 legit ones. That sounds about right. About 4, sure. And Dash is the king daddy, right? So, all right, guys, I'm daisy chaining these little 20-pound. They're teeny tiny. I know that I need to get like whatever, some 30-pound like longer ones, like 8-inch zip ties. But I keep these smaller ones because they're enough to hold GPUs onto racks, and at 20 pounds strength, right? 20-pound test, it's enough. So, you know, waste not. Plus, if you have these little edges right here, you don't have to trim these edges to put GPUs on the rack. And since you don't have to trim the edges, you won't have sharp corners, so you're not going to cut yourself up. I hate cutting my hands up on old zip ties. Just a nuisance, right? I mean, am I going to complain about it? Nah, it just happens. But if I can avoid it, I'll avoid it. I'd rather not do it. So... all right, I think I've got what I need here from the daisy chain of zip ties. All right, so yeah, guys, as far as interviewing other members of the community, if there are coin projects that are worth interviewing, I've got no problem interviewing coin projects. There we go. I'm going to stick with that. And then the vacuum pressure should hold the backside up. I'm pretty much just going to hold that front lip up with some duct tape. I'm going to start by securing this zip tie daisy chain first, and then I'll hook it over the top there. Got it. Okay, so CryptoNoof is saying the new Raspberry Pi 4 has enough RAM. Are you saying that because of the 2 and 3 gig models, or is it 2 and 4 gig models that it has? So yeah, I want to say that the new Raspberry Pi, the version 4, that it's got both. Yeah, so 2, 3, and 4. There you go. Cool. Hey, Wes over Not Your Normal. This is, hey, so you're coming in late. You're coming in late, man. This is an interim solution because I've got miners going right now, and I couldn't wait any more days for me to finish the full project to get some miners back into production. So yeah, I needed to do something. This is going to give us about 300 CFM of ventilation. On over here, just on an exit, little exit ventilation apparatus. This is corrugate. It's like, this is so temporary. It's so, I mean, I'm putting corrugate right here at the edge of the carport, so if we get rain, like, a lot of things could go wrong. I don't think it's going to. Personally, I think we're fine. It buys us a couple of days, which gives me enough time in the margins to get that done. That said, guys, I mentioned also with the scouts, went out over the weekend, had a blast, took them on a 5-mile hike over terrain. I don't know exactly what our elevation was between hiking out to our point and then, you know, I keep thinking Spanish, ida y vuelta. Like, I don't know what our elevation was during that time, but we went out to some hot springs here locally. Super cool for the boys. And one of the other guys in the scout leadership group, he brought some binoculars just in case we were dealing with skinny dippers there. I mean, it's not that you can't bring whatever, a group of 12-year-old boys and have them run into a bunch of college students skinny dipping, as much as they might be a little bit scarred for life mentally. So it'd be preferable not to have that happen. So yeah, had a pair of binoculars on the scene just in case. At least for American boys. There we go. I forget we have Europeans. Yeah, I know. European 12-year-olds would not be scarred by that, but our American boys would be, right? They haven't seen that since they were whatever, less than 1 year old here. We don't nurse our kids long enough, and we don't expose them to boobies enough, I guess. Whatever. Cultural differences. Tomato, tomato. So. All right. So that right there. So jank. So janky. But it's going to work. All right, so the main support is in place. That's going to work. Again, I'm kind of counting on vacuum pressure holding the corrugate against here. I really didn't want to have to put any kind of like duct tape against the brick if I can avoid it, but we'll do it if we have to. So guys, Crypto Noof has mentioned what he's mining. Got a bit of Ethereum that he's mining. Without shilling, what other projects are you guys mining that you're excited about? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got a piece on the bottom. High tech. Anything that pays the bill. Yeah, I didn't have long enough. I didn't have long enough zip ties there, Corey, to set the pilot holes in. Yeah, I didn't have long enough zip ties, so I'm gonna go with this just for the main support. So Yankee's saying he's mining anything that pays the bills. I'm right there with you. Oh, you want to see it spin right now? Let me put a couple other pieces in place here to kind of help. Oh yeah. Why am I doing it this way, guys? Because this is not the finished piece, right? This is not the finished ventilation piece. The finished ventilation piece will involve like actual wood screws and caulk, and like it's gonna look like sort of a semi-permanent fixture out here. This, I don't care. Yeah, right. Load-bearing duct tape, whatever. And as soon as we actually get vacuum pressure here, really, this stuff is kind of a formality. It's gonna be running 24/7. Well, I guess 48 hours. Oh, what? Yeah, no, guys, this is just it. Like, now you mention it, I guess I could have shown off my knot tying skills, a little piece of nylon rope, but whatever. Dude, that's amazing. Crypto Noof, congrats. That's awesome you haven't had to sell for 2 years now. That's great. Looks Polish to you? Nice. Nice. All right. That right there is enough. Oh yeah, this is totally temporary, guys. Totally temporary. And as soon as we strike this thing on, vacuum pressure holds everything in place. All of it. Let's do it. Yeah, right? The moment of truth. It has come. Let's do the dang thing. Yeah, polarity erased, the fan takes off, reversed. Nope, polarity isn't reversed on this guy. Whoop. Not reversed. Okay. And again, talking about jank, I've got this in a... This is not even on its own separate circuit. Oh, better still. Want to see it from here? Hey, hey! There it is! There's all of our actual ventilation gear. Not temporary ventilation gear. Come on. It's killing me. Okay. See, this is the opposite side of having fat fingers. You can do stuff like this. Not all bad. Whew. I think I spoke too soon. I was really close. I was really confident I was going to make that work with one hand. There we go. Don't electrocute myself. Come on, man. Where's the fun in not electrocuting myself? I mean, I'm only standing on concrete in my bare feet. I'd be fine. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'd be fine. Yeah, if I did. Well, actually, if I did, we'll appreciate it. I am wearing slippers. I'm not totally in my bare feet. All right, there we go. I was worried that wasn't fully seated just yet. All right. It is alive, and I'm not feeling any cross breeze coming through, and I don't see that the cardboard is properly seated just yet. So let's go make sure that it's properly seated so we get vacuum pressure doing its job. We have one job to do, vacuum pressure. One job. Oh, rotating device. Yeah, no. And you know, when I close that off, we get hot air coming out. When I let it creep forward, it's pulling in the ambient. Crud. So I gotta close this off just a little bit. More duct tape. Ha ha ha. Guys, by the way, I don't know if I talked about this T-shirt before. This was sent to me by an ex-convict who does rap promotion now, out of Akron, Ohio. Cool guy, one of the coolest guys I ever met. You know, actually, Corey, I like the idea of just using bricks instead. I might have a brick that I can lean up against the bottom edge. Yeah. So let's look for some bricks real fast. Pretty sure I've got something out here. Oh, hey. You've seen it. Here's the thing, though, man. I think all the decorative stuff, right? We collect all the pine cones, and we get tons of it. But all the bricks. Grab just a couple. Again, why grab one when you can grab two? But yeah, guys, this T-shirt. Yeah, Roderick, I've got a whole house fan as well, but then I'm pulling heat from the miners all the way up through the house. Whereas right now, it's being caught in the basement along this side because of some of the temporary workspace that I've set up. I've hung what's called duvetine across the sides, and duvetine is it's a chemically treated cloth. So it's fire resistant, right? Fire retardant treated cloth. So that way I don't have to worry about working with whatever down in the basement it's treated. That's getting me close enough, but I've still got about an inch gap there on top. I don't want to mess with the plants either. Okay. What? Do what on the bricks? Lay wood against the... Yep. I might have to just go ahead and set something up that's a little closer. Whew. I could always put the Atlas stone against it. We haven't had fun with the Atlas stone on a live stream, have we? We should. Another time. We'll have fun with the Atlas stone. I'm just going to stack a couple bricks up higher. Yeah, Corey, you said you feel better about your hair now? You should. Oh, BDF, you missed it. I already tore my mustache. I do that probably 15 times a day. Because my boys will walk in the room, they'll be like, Dad, are you feeling evil today? And I'll go, let me think about it. Yes? Oh no, I'm chasing away all the spiders. Sorry, spider, didn't mean to chase you out of your home. Done. Okay, so I set these down below. They're staggered forward so that the center of mass is leaning against this cardboard closer to the top. That ought to do, right? We're good? We're good. Okay. Hot air's coming out. I feel that it's hot. Hot to the touch. Let's get all this other crap out of the way. Yeah, guys, this should allow me to get everything back online. Everything. Maybe, because really it's more about the family's comfort at this point, right? It's got a lot less to do with the device temperature. Even putting things within the growing tent has kind of helped everything. Oh, dang. CryptoNoof saying that the 4 gig Raspberry Pi 4 is sold out everywhere. Well, lonely at the top, I guess. I mean, they just shook everybody's day up with that announcement. Not quite, doesn't feel cool in here yet. We really do need to get a lot more isolation in the tent. But guys, we're going on about an hour and 15 minutes here on the live stream. My phone is almost dead. Guess I could plug it in. But I think I'm gonna call it a day. I could also just put in the 8-inch ventilation right there and then set it up close to that fan for right now and then enclose the tent. But I'm not sure that 350 CFM will be enough to keep everything the way I want it. Because I'm still feeling hot air over here around in this area, right? The enclosed office area. I don't think this is not going to be enough. All I'm doing is keeping the hot air from escaping this office area and polluting the rest of the living quarters upstairs. That's all I've done, I think, at best right now. So I've got to get to work on that other solution out in the backyard and get that in place. And we've got to crank on the CFM. Right? We've really got to get as close to 1,000, 1,500, or 2,000 CFM as possible, circulating through a closed loop or a closed system. All right, guys, that's what I got today. Any other questions? Any other suggestions? Crossover content? Clearly, CryptoNoof's looking for that 4 gig Pi. I know we've got a couple of members of our community in our Discord that are looking at a couple of different Raspberry Pi options. Maybe running masternode staked wallets or staking wallets on a Pi. I'm going to start installing security. A security router here. I've got the. Let me show you that. Oh, running a pool on a Pi. That'd be amazing. Yeah, guys, my pleasure. You know, it's always fun going live. I've got, you can't really see it, so Microtech. What? I don't even know how you're supposed to pronounce the name. But I've got the router board right there because I was tired of letting everybody, Google, everybody, check out my IP traffic. I'm tired of it. I got an email from Google the other day. I've got Google Fiber. I got an email from them the other day saying, hey, just a reminder, we can shut off your service for any reason, and then when we send out a tech to check out your network, we can take photos of your network at home when we reactivate your service, and we can make you pay for both the technician visit and then reinstating your service. So I thought, you know what, I need to start probably segregating my network into VPN traffic, like VPN routed traffic for mining, and then all the other stuff. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. You're the reason to make these videos. You know that. I love you, face.